What's up, y'all? It's me, Jacen Bowman. I'm standing here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, outside of our state capital, because today I'm going to have an exclusive sit-down conversation with our Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis. We're going to talk about everything from his childhood to how he became a legislator to the pardon process and to even what he wants to do if he gets reelected as our Lieutenant Governor. So let's go, y'all. Let's have this conversation. What's up, everybody? It's me, Jacen Bowman, content creator, makeup artist, and all things civic engagement. And I'm so excited today to be sitting down having a conversation with our Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis. We're going to have a deep dive conversation and figure out what things he likes, whether it's Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, and what are some of the policies that he's running again, because as you guys know, he's up for re-election. So let's go. Lieutenant Governor, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's great to be with you. Thanks for taking some time to chat with me today.
No, thank you for making time for me. I appreciate you because I know you're extremely busy. We got budget season going on, a lot of things happening in the Commonwealth. I kind of want to do an icebreaker.
Sure.
So that we can kind of like set the tone, because I know you're from Pittsburgh, right?
I am from Pittsburgh, Steel City.
Okay, and I'm from Philly, so you know how we feel about Pittsburgh.
I know.
How Pittsburgh feel about Philly, right? Okay, so I want to talk to you about some music and culture. Jill Scott or Wiz Khalifa?
Jill Scott.
Okay. The Roots or Mac Miller?
Mac Miller.
Okay. Philly soul music or Pittsburgh hip hop?
Ooh, Philly soul music.
Okay. Soft pretzel or I can never pronounce this right. Pertima Brothers?
Permane Brothers.
Permane Brothers.
So definitely a soft pretzel.
Okay.
I will tell you, Pittsburghers who actually are born and raised in Pittsburgh, they're usually not fans of the Permane Brothers sandwich.
Really, why?
It's usually more of a tourist thing, I think, than it is an actual Pittsburgh thing. I don't know. We love French fries on our sandwich, but it just gets to be a little unwieldy with the Permane Brothers sandwich.
So it's the same way with us in Philly, because a lot of people think that Geno's and Pat's, shout out to Geno's and Pat's, but we kind of like the cheesesteaks from like the Poppy store, like better cheesesteak at the Poppy store, or like D'Alessandro's or something like that. Okay. Water ice or milkshake?
Milkshake for sure.
All right, y'all, here we go. 76ers or the Penguins?
This is a hard one. Definitely a 76ers fan because I'm a basketball fan, and they're the only Pennsylvania basketball team, so I have rooted for the 76ers since I was a kid, back to the Allen Iverson days.
Okay. Phillies or the Pirates?
I want to say Pirates, but I will say the Pirates have not put a good team on the field. Literally in my entire lifetime, we've got a rich history with Roberto Clemente, so I'll have to side with the Phillies because they have just put phenomenal teams on the field the last couple of years.
So what it's sounding like, you're more of a Philly guy than a Pittsburgh guy?
I'm a Pennsylvania guy, but I believe black and gold. The one question you didn't include was Eagles and Steelers.
Oh, no, I was getting there.
Oh, okay.
I was getting there. Okay. So Eagles and Steelers.
I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I bleed black and gold. So much so that my wife is an executive with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, so you have to be about the Steelers.
So I say I don't have to be, but I'm paid to be in some ways.
Okay. I got you. Because you want to make a good household when you get home.
Yeah, I don't want to create no problems.
Got you. Wawa hoagie or Sheetz late night snack?
Definitely the Sheetz late night snack.
Really? I'm not a fan of Sheetz.
Really?
No.
Well, Sheetz is creeping into Philly now, so you're gonna start seeing we're moving in on Wawa's territory. So
it's making me nervous because they're closing Wawa's, and I did see a Sheetz pop up.
Yeah, Wawa's gonna have to step their game up.
Okay, SEPTA ride or crossing the Fort Pitts Bridge into Pittsburgh?
Definitely crossing the Fort Bridge into Pittsburgh. If you've never done it, we call it the front door to Pittsburgh, because you get off the airplane, leave the airport, and you go through the tunnel, and it's the most amazing welcome to the city of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Philadelphia Mural Arts or Pittsburgh Bridges?
Definitely Philadelphia Mural Arts. One of the things that I was blown away by when I first started going to Philly was to see how diverse all the artwork was throughout the different neighborhoods. And I think that's one of the special things that makes Philly, Philly.
Okay. Couple more questions. Philly block party or a Pittsburgh backyard cookout?
Definitely a Pittsburgh backyard cookout.
Talk about that. What was your experience like?
Well, so I grew up in McKeesport, but when I think of that, it brings so many great memories back of the cookouts that my grandmother would have when we were growing up, the sense of community that it created for our neighborhood. So for me, it just brings back so many wonderful memories of growing up in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Philly slang or Pittsburgh slang?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like either, right? So I'm not a huge fan of either. You know, people who meet me they always say that I don't sound like I'm from Pittsburgh.
No, you don't.
Yes, they're always very surprised. So I'm very intentional about not getting into one way or the other. I like to be a chameleon because I got to go all over Pennsylvania.
So what's one slang word that you use from Pittsburgh or Philly?
Occasionally, if you catch me, I'll definitely say yins.
Okay.
Young bull, definitely.
bull.
Young bull sticks with me a little bit from Philly.
Okay. And Broad Street Run or Pittsburgh Marathon?
Definitely the Pittsburgh Marathon. So Pittsburgh Marathon is unique because it goes through every neighborhood in the city. And because of Pittsburgh's topography, it's a really hard race. You go up a lot of hills, down a lot of hills, because we're really built into the side of a mountain.
All right, final question. This is the $1 million question. Philadelphia or Pittsburgh?
Pennsylvania. They both add something amazing to Pennsylvania. I'll say this, Pennsylvania is the most diverse state in the country, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think we're the most representative of America. Pittsburgh people will hate this, but Pittsburgh is much more a Midwestern type of city. Philly is much more an East Coast city. And I think they just add something great to our entire Commonwealth.
Agreed. So for people that is watching right now that don't know you, what was life like growing up in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I'm the proud son of a union bus driver and a hairdresser. My dad's a Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus operator. He's still driving a bus today to help folks get where they need to go. I grew up in a working class community and a working class family, and I'm a first generation college graduate. And I really got involved in public service because of an incident of gun violence that was in my neighborhood. That was the first time that I really felt that foundation of safety and security kind of be shattered. And a lot of folks in my community were feeling that way. And so in high school, I got involved and started a youth-led organization to take on gun violence in my community, never thinking I was going to run for office, and never thinking that I would be the face of the elected officials that I was working with. But it really got me involved. And, I went to my first city council meeting after that incident. And there were two things that I noticed when I got there. One, there was nobody talking about the issue of gun violence. And two, there was nobody who looked like me serving on the city council. And I thought that as a young person, the issues that I care about should be front and center. But also as an African-American, I thought representation matters. And our voices should be at the table when we're making these decisions that will disproportionately affect our communities.
So speaking of that, you're actually a history maker. You're the first Black lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania. And can you share a little bit about your journey into public service and what motivates you to keep doing this work?
Yeah, I started off my career when I graduated college working for the county executive in Pittsburgh. And so I always liked the idea of public service, but I thought I'd be more of a background person. And that really allowed me to see how powerful government can be and how it can be used as a force for good in our lives. And I decided to run for state representative at the time in my district because the previous representative had resigned from office and there was a vacancy. And I thought about the type of qualities that I wanted in an elected official. And I didn't necessarily think I was going to run. I thought there would be somebody else who had more experience, who was more mature than I was, and would step up. And as I kept looking around, I didn't see that. And I felt like there was something missing that I could offer. And so I ran for state representative, got elected, became the first African-American to ever represent my district or any district in Western Pennsylvania outside of Pittsburgh, and spent 5 years in the legislature working on issues that I care about, from gun violence, community safety, from education and healthcare, and then decided to run for lieutenant governor because I had worked with Governor Shapiro when he was attorney general and thought that I could have a bigger impact as Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor, and ran for office, won a 3-way primary, and won all Pennsylvania's 67 counties in that primary to join Josh Shapiro on the ticket. And the rest is history, so to speak.
We love history.
But I will say this, I think a lot about being the first at something, right? And I think I have a real responsibility that although I'm the first African-American to ever occupy this space, it will mean nothing unless I leave that door a little bit wider for a person to walk through it behind me. And so I have a fundamental responsibility to make sure that Black and brown young people all across Pennsylvania, or folks who have not seen themselves traditionally represented in halls of power, have every opportunity to succeed.
Representation does matter. As a young Black leader in the statewide office, what message of hope do you think your leadership should send to the next generation of Pennsylvanians?
Yeah, look, I think, every day, people look at our leaders and they, I think when folks look at me, I hope they see somebody that not just shares their experience from a race perspective, but from a lived experience. Somebody who had grew up in a working family, and somebody who is fighting for working class people every single day to make sure that they have the opportunity to live the American dream here in Pennsylvania. And I firmly believe if you see it, you can believe it. And so hopefully it inspires other young people to get involved in public service, to run for office, and to make a difference in their communities.
So there's a couple of things that you are responsible for in your lane of influence as Lieutenant Governor that are particularly important to me. And one area where your leadership has been especially impactful is your role on the Board of Pardons process. Can you explain why you're so passionate about reforming and expanding access to our pardon system?
Yeah, look, we recognize that Pennsylvanians should have an opportunity for a second chance. People often shouldn't be judged on a moment that may have been the worst day of their life. It's pretty significant for me to be the chair of the Board of Pardons, to be the first person of color to chair that board, given the disproportionate effects that the criminal justice system has, particularly on marginalized communities. We have made it a priority to make sure that if folks have turned their lives around and done the work to rehabilitate themselves, that we can get them a second chance as quickly as possible. I'm really proud of the fact that when the governor and I came into office, we doubled the staff at the Board of Pardons office to help deal with the backlog that the office has consistently had. We've modernized the pardon process to make it easier for folks to apply for a pardon, to get that second chance. I will tell you, in some ways, we've been a victim of our success because we've made it easier. We've delivered second chances for folks, so more people have applied for a second chance. So it's a good problem to have. And one of the things that I'm particularly proud of is a part of the Clean Slate Act that Governor Shapiro signed. Before I took office, if you were given a pardon from the governor, you then had to go to City Hall or your Department of Court Records to fight to get them to expunge your record. We included a provision in that law to make it automatic. So the minute the governor signs the pardon, it goes to the office of the courts, the administrative office of the courts, and they wipe your record clean. So we have made it easier for folks to get a second chance, and it's something that I know the governor, as well as I, feel very strongly about.
Many people who have been impacted by the criminal legal system face long-term barriers to employment, housing opportunity. How do pardons help address those barriers to support people rebuilding their lives?
Yeah, so I think one, it sends a message to folks who are applying for a job, who are hiring, that we've cleaned this person's record. They've done the work to get a second chance. And I think if you think about the work that we've been doing on the other side, outside of the pardons process, we've been working to create ladders of opportunity for every person to succeed. Whether that's expanding workforce development programs and apprenticeship programs, whether that's bringing new businesses to the Commonwealth that create family-sustaining jobs, because we want folks to have every opportunity to not just earn a livable wage, but to earn a family-sustaining wage that can support them and their family and allow them to live the American dream. Every initiative that we have taken on, we've looked at it through that lens, whether it's historic investments in public education, workforce development apprenticeship programs, whether that's increasing our spend in state government with small diverse businesses. We want to make sure that every person has the opportunity to live the American dream, whatever that looks like for them.
So you talked about gun violence earlier, and gun violence is something that's really important to me because in October, my sister was tragically murdered in Delaware by her roommate. He was playing with the gun fired, and it actually ended up shooting and killing her. So gun violence is something that is really personal to me, and it's also personal to a lot of families here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. What gun legislation do you feel like the Commonwealth needs to protect families like mine from those senseless acts of violence just happening?
Yeah, I'm so sorry that you lost your sister. So please, my condolences to you and your entire family. This has been the issue that brought me to public service that I've been working on my entire career. And we've worked really hard in Harrisburg, and I'm proud of what the House Democratic Caucus has done under Speaker Joanna McClinton's leadership. They've passed universal background checks. They've passed red flag laws. So if a family member is having a crisis, their family can petition to have their firearms taken away while they are going through that crisis, and then ultimately have them returned. I also think another law would be a lost and stolen law here in Pennsylvania. If you own a firearm, and your gun is stolen out of your car or you lose it, you legally, you don't have to report that to the law enforcement. And if your car was stolen, you would first thing you would do is call the police. Um, and most of the crimes that we see happening with guns on the street are guns that are either lost or stolen or unregistered. And so I think those three pieces of legislation would have a significant impact in reducing gun violence. And I will say, we have some of the lowest rates of gun violence in Pennsylvania right now than we've had in, I think, nearly 2 decades. And a lot of that has been because of the work we've done investing in law enforcement. We put 2,000 more police officers on the street, but simultaneously investing in community-based violence intervention programs. The folks who are doing the work every day in the community to keep our community safe, doing both of those things in tandem has realized a lot of success here in Pennsylvania.
Across the country, we've seen an increase in legislation targeting LGBTQ plus people. How can states like Pennsylvania continue to lead policy to promote equity and dignity for everybody?
Yeah, one of the things that the governor and I have been fighting for, I think both of us have been fighting for it our entire careers, but we've been really pushing for it since we've been in office, is to pass non-discrimination law for our LGBTQ brothers and sisters to make sure they can't be discriminated against, whether it be with housing or employment. The Fairness Act, I was a co-sponsor of the Fairness Act when I was a state representative. And I think that's fundamentally important to giving LGBTQ folks those protections. But I think it's also incumbent upon us as elected leaders to work to protect the fundamental rights of every Pennsylvanian. Whether you're marginalized or not, every person deserves the right to live the American dream. And that may look different for every person. And we need to respect that. And that's what the governor and I have been doing throughout our time in office. And we've been encouraging and pushing more elected officials to stand with us.
And as we approach Philadelphia Black Pride Week, I gotta do a plug, y'all, which has happened at the end of April, which highlights the intersection of Black and Brown LGBTQ plus identity. What role do you believe government leaders should play in protecting and uplifting marginalized communities such as Philly Black Pride?
Yeah, look, I think it's important for us as leaders to show up, but also to legislate, to pass laws that guarantee those protections, to recognize that our diversity is really what is our strength here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we have to view it as that. Every person's diversity and their differences make Pennsylvania the most beautiful place that it is today. And we should recognize those contributions. But I think it's so critical that not just being an ally in terms of rhetoric, but being an ally in terms of the legislation and the laws that we're enacting and the policies we're enacting in Harrisburg to make sure we're protecting all of our citizens.
And final question. I'm on my way to the election ballot. Why should I revote? Why should I reelect you?
Yeah. So, well, first, I want to ask you to vote for me when you get into the ballot box in November. I've worked really hard as lieutenant governor to create safer communities, to create ladders of opportunity for folks to succeed, to make sure that every person has the opportunity to live the American dream. This work is so much more important for me now. When I first got elected as your lieutenant governor, it was one of the highest honors of my life. But the highest honor of my life came a few months later when I became a dad for the first time to a baby girl named Harper. And the work that I do every day is building a world that I want my daughter to inherit. But my promise to her is the same promise that I make to every Pennsylvania child. It's that I want them to be able to get a quality education. I want them to be able to live their American dream right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I hope folks recognize the work that we've done over the last 4 years, but there's still so much more work that we need to do to move Pennsylvania forward. And I'd be honored if you and all of your viewers who live in Pennsylvania would consider giving me their vote for another term.
What's next for you after you win re-election?
Yeah. Well, so we're going to win. And for the next 4 years, I'm going to be laser focused on being the best lieutenant governor I can for the good people of Pennsylvania and the best governing partner I can to Governor Shapiro. I can tell you, I love public service. I don't know what'll come after that, but I want to continue to have an impact, to continue to make a difference. And so I can't imagine that I'll go far from where I am now, but we're going to continue to have an impact And whichever role or position allows me to do that will be the one that I seek, or that I strive to serve in.
So y'all heard that, right? Our next governor, after, Lieutenant Governor is over, our next governor of Pennsylvania, Austin Davis. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for taking time to talk to me. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all the things, tag everything down below. You guys already know.